Hi, welcome to Ramnathim Ganitshala. In today's session, we are going to introduce squares and square roots and study a few properties about them. Okay, so now, do you know what do you mean by square of a number? See, if a number is multiplied by itself, if a number is multiplied by itself, the product that we get is called as square of that number. So, this is the number multiplied by itself 5 into 5, the product is nothing but square of that number, which number? Square of 5, right, square of 5. So, similarly, square of 6 is nothing but 6 into 6 is equal to 36, right. Similarly, square of 10 is nothing but 10 into 10, also denoted as 10 raised to the power of 2 is nothing but 100. Okay. So, good. Now, I believe this is pretty simple, you already knew it, or if not, you understood it now, so that is good. The second thing that comes to mind is, what do you mean by a square root? Square root of a number. Square root of a number n is that number which when multiplied by itself will give you n. Alright, so let us see what do you mean by that, right. So, square root of a number n is that number which when multiplied by itself gives you n. So, nothing but if n is equal to y into y, okay, which means square root of n is nothing but y. Okay. So, that way square root of 36 is nothing but 6, because when you multiply 6 with itself you get 36, right. Square root is also denoted as, I can write square root of 36 as, this is the sign, okay, square root of 36 is 6. So, now can I conclude that if, let me rub this or let it be there, if 6 square is equal to 36, it is not if, it is the fact. So, 6 square is equal to 36, right, implies square root of 36 is equal to 6. Right, 6 square is 36. If I find out the square root of 36, I should get 6. So, in a way, in that way, square and square roots are related, right. So, can we generalize this? If n square is equal to y, if y is the square of n, implies square root of y is equal to n. So, if I find out the square root of y, I should get the value as n. Okay. So, good. I mean, just think about this a little bit, you would get it, if not already. Okay. So, now we understand what do you mean by a square and a square root. Okay. Now, what do you mean by perfect square? Have you heard about what a perfect square is? We studied about perfect numbers in chapter 1 or 2, but now we are actually dealing with something called as a perfect square. Okay. So, let me give you an example. So, a perfect square is a number whose root you can obtain exactly. So, for example, let me tell you. So, is 36 a perfect square? Question mark, right? So now can you find out the square root of 36 is nothing but 6, exact square root, okay? So you are able to identify the square root exactly, 6 is the exact value. So because you have been able to find out the square root of 36 exactly, 36 is a perfect square. How about 49? Okay, so square root of 49 again is 7, exact square root we are able to identify. So 49 is a perfect square. But what about 44? Now square root of 44 is definitely greater than 6. 6 are 36, right? And it is less than 7. And if you go to find out the square root of 44, which we will be doing in the next session, you realize that you cannot find out the square root of 44 exactly. It will be in decimals, which will never terminate, and it will go on. So 44 is not a perfect square. Just remember that. All right. So 44 is not a perfect square. All right. Great. Now once we have introduced, let's study some of the properties, okay, or a few points that you should remember, right, about square and square roots. All right. Okay. So before that, right, let me ask you a few questions. Any even number I can denote using 2k. Can I say 2k is always a even number for whatever value of k that you take? Natural number, where k is a natural number. K is a natural number where k is a natural number means what? K is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 dot 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 dot. Okay. So whatever value you take, 2k will always be even. If k is 1, this becomes 2, even. If k is equal to 2, 4, even again. K is equal to 3, 6, even again. So it will always be even. 2k is always even, and 2k plus 1 is always odd. Correct, no? If 2k is even, you add 1 to it, it becomes an odd number. Okay, so just remember that. Now the first property is square of an even number is always even. Okay, how do you prove this? So we use that concept which we just explained. So even number, can I say 2k, the whole square? Okay, let's say LHS, left hand side, is equal to 2k square, is nothing but 4k square, right, when I open it. Now this is nothing but 2 into 2k square, right, which means this entire left hand side is a multiple of 2, because 2 into something. So it implies that this is an even number. Correct? So 4k square is nothing but a multiple of 2. If it is a multiple of 2, it implies that it is an even number. So great, right, is equal to RHS. All right. Now the second property or point to remember is square of an odd number is a odd number. If you want, you can take a few examples. Square of odd number, this is odd. Square of odd number is 49, again odd. 9 squares, 9 nines are 81, odd again. 11 square, 121. You can take some more examples, right? 5 square, 25. All are odd numbers. So you take an odd number, find out the square of that number. It is always odd. Let's prove it. Okay. So LHS, odd number square. I can always take the odd number as 2k plus 1. Okay, so now let's expand it. It becomes 4k square plus 2k 1 plus 1 the whole square. 4k square plus 4k plus 1. Is that right? Now 4, can I do this way? Can I do it this way, right? 2k square plus 2k plus 1. Can I say this is a even number? It has to be a even number because it is a multiple of 2, right? So it is a even number. So even number, some even number plus 1, right? Even number plus 1 is nothing but odd number. So that also is correct, right? So is equal to RHS. Let's take the third one, right? So square of a positive number or square of a negative number is always positive. So what I am saying is positive number square is equal to positive, and square of a positive number is positive, okay, and square of a negative number, right, negative number is positive again, right? Okay, you already know positive into positive. So for example, let k be a positive number. Okay, so let's say k into k is nothing but k square is positive, right? 5 into 5, 6 into 6, 7 into 7, so on and so forth. So that's a trivial case. What about the negative one? So can I denote k negative number as minus k, and we do a square, which is nothing but minus k into minus k, right? So we can say minus into minus plus k into k square. So it is nothing but k square, which is a positive number. Right? So that is also done. All right, let's move on to some more complex ones, and let's try to prove the results. Okay. So the question is, okay, is 29211715222102 a perfect square? Is the question, right? Now this definitely we can solve by finding out the square root, but it is going to be laborious. So is it possible that you can actually look at this number and just by inspecting this you can say that definitely this is not a perfect square, is the question that we are going to answer. All right. So tell me one thing. Let's take a couple of examples, right? So 21 into 21. The last digit. The question I want to ask is, what would be the last digit of the square of 21? Last digit. Okay, let's figure out. So it is 21, 42, 1, 4, 441. Last digit is 1. Okay. How about 29 into 29? Can you guess what would be the last digit? Right. So 9 9s are 81. Okay. 9 2s are 18. And 26, I just do it here, then again it is 58, 1, 4, 841, correct? So just by multiplying the last two digits here, 9 9s are 81, the 1 would be the last digit of this. Similarly, 1 into 1, last digit would be 1. Similarly, if it is 27 square, what I am saying is 7 sevens are 49, right? Last digit of this square, whatever is, should be 9. Okay, let's see. 7 sevens are 49, 7 is a 14, 18, okay, and 54. See this? 9 has come. Correct, no? So that way, let's see what are the possible digits in the units place if a number is a perfect square. Okay, so if a number is a perfect square, what are the possible digits one can get in the units place, right? So I hope you understood this. So I am going to build up on this theory. So I will just leave it as it is so that we answer. So if there is a number, okay, ending with 1 and we square it, whatever the square is, it will end with 1, 1 into 1. So similarly, if there is a number whose square, if we take, ending with 2, the last digit would be 4, 2 2s are 4. Similarly, whatever it is, I don't care, I am only interested in the last digit, 3 3s are 9. So if it is 4, 4 4s are 16, 1 will get carried over in the multiplication, 6 will remain. Okay. So similarly, 25, 5 will remain, 2 will get carried over. See? Okay, sorry about that. Last digit is 6, 6 6 are 36, 3 gets carried over, 6 remains. Okay. 7 square, 7 7 are 49, 9 remains, 4 gets carried over. Okay. 64, 4, 9, 1, 9 9s are 81, 1 remains, 8 gets carried over. And similarly, if it is 0 here, it will be a 0. So now if you see a perfect square, would always have, okay, one or 4 or 9 or 6 or 5 or 6 already I have taken, 9 I have taken already, 4 I have already taken, 1 I have already taken, or 0 in its units place. Now I am assuming that there is no decimal point here. Okay, so it does not have any, it's not a decimal number, it's a whole number. Okay, so in that case it will always have 1 4 9 6 5 or 0 in its unit place. Now in this case we have 2 in the units place. Okay, do you think in that case can this be a perfect square? Definitely this is not a perfect square. So which means perfect square or numbers, okay, ending with 0 is here, 1 is there, 2 is not there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. Numbers ending with 2, 3, 7 or 8 cannot be perfect squares. Hope this is clear, right? So in the exam they may ask you a big number just to scare you off, but I know you are not easily scared, right? So when you look at the number, just look at the last digit and just use this idea, right? Whether it can be, right? In that case, you will be able to find it quickly. All right. Okay, good. So let's move on to the next property. So the next one, right? The next property says a perfect square when you divide by 3 will leave a remainder of 0 or 1. A perfect square when you divide by 3 will leave a remainder of 0 or 1 but never 2. Okay, let's see what that means. Let's write it down. Perfect square on dividing by 3 leaves remainder of 0 or 1, which means never 2. Okay, so one quick question, right? So when you divide a number by 3, only 3 possible values of remainder are 0, 1 or 2. Okay, you take any number, you take 10. When you divide 10 by 3, remainder is nothing but 1. 3 3 is a 9, so remainder is 1 in this case. You take 13 by 3, again the remainder is equal to 1. You take 12 by 3, remainder is 0, right? Or if you take 14 by 3, remainder is nothing but 2. 3 4s are 12, then 2 remains. Okay, so you can have remainder 0, 1 or 2. Okay, typically. But what the property says is, in the case of a perfect square, when you divide it by 3, it leaves a remainder of 0 or 1, which means you will never get a remainder of 2. Why? Let's see. So if a number is divisible by 3 completely, it can be denoted as 3k. If it leaves a remainder of 1, I can see that it is of this form. If it leaves a remainder of 2, I can see it is of this form, right? So now you can go ahead and see, right? It would denote any number. Any number can be denoted with by either of these 3, where k is you can take k as a whole number. Okay, so if k is equal to 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 1 and this becomes 2. If k is equal to 1, this becomes 3, 4 and 5 and so forth, right? So any perfect square we should be able to denote using these numbers. Okay, so let's say a perfect square is of the form is completely divisible by 3. Okay, or it is okay, all right. So any number can be of this form, 3k, 3k plus 1 or 3k plus 2. Okay, so now let's find out the square of this. Okay, so 3k the whole square is nothing but 9k square, right? Now if I divide, okay, which is nothing but 3k square, correct, which is clearly divisible by 3. So on dividing by 3 leaves remainder of 0, correct? No, because this number is clearly divisible by 3. So if you divide, remainder of 0. Now the perfect square could be of the form 3k plus 1 the whole square. Okay, earlier to the first example we found out that remainder will be 0 in this case. Let's try this out. So it is 3k the whole square. Let's expand this. 3k the whole square plus 2 3k 1 plus 1 the whole square, which is nothing but 9k square plus 6k plus 1. All right, so what do we do now? So can I say 3k square plus 2k plus 1. Okay, right? So this is divisible by 3 because it has 3. So 3 into something. When I divide, the quotient will be only this. 3 and 3 will cancel. So this is a multiple of 3 plus 1. So, multiple of 3, when you divide, what you will be left with? A remainder of 1. Okay. So, on dividing you write down, on dividing leaves a remainder of 1. So, in this case, if it is of the form 3k plus 1 and you square it, you will see that on dividing by 3 it leaves a remainder of 1. Now, let us look at the last part. So, if the perfect square is of the form 3k plus 2 the whole square, let us expand it, 9k square. Similarly, just work it out in the similar way. It is 12k plus 4, is that right? So, 9k square 12k plus 2 to the 4, okay, 2 square 4, okay. So, let me write it as 9k square plus 12k plus 3 plus 1, 4 I write it as 3 plus 1. So, I can say 3k square plus 4k plus 1 plus 1, correct, no? Now, this is again a multiple of 3, right. So, what will happen if you add 1 to multiple of 3? You will be having a remainder of 1 eventually, right. Alright. So, for example, right, 4 is nothing but 3 plus 1, right. So, this is a multiple of 3. So, when you divide this anyway, remainder would be 1, correct, no? Or 10 for example, right. So, 3 3s are 9. So, I can 9 plus 1. This is a multiple of 3. If I divide 10, this anyway will go away, remainder will be 1. Similarly, it is a multiple of 3, remainder would be 1. So, leaves remainder of 1 on dividing by 3. So, hence we proved that in all the 3 possible cases we saw, in one case it leaves a remainder of 0 and in the other 2 cases remainder of 1. So, this is correct, alright. So, just ponder it over students. Great. So, this is fine, and yeah, so I think that brings us to the end of this today's session. So, in today's session we learned square and square roots of a number, what they actually mean. Then we introduced you to perfect squares, right, and then we studied a few properties of square and square roots, and we proved almost all what I introduced, we were able to prove them, right. So, hope you enjoyed today's session. If you learned something today, give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you would be the first one to be notified. So, alright, I think that brings us to the end, and till we meet next time, you take care of yourself and God bless you children. Bye.